The Huntingburg Board of Public Works approves proposed changes to city parking fees. The Jasper Country Club advisory team holds its first meeting, and Inform with Huntingburg Chamber of Commerce Executive Director Nick Stevens. Those stories and much more are coming up next here on 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. In your news at this hour, the city of Huntingburg is looking to raise parking fees in order to help motivate citizens to take the city's parking ordinance more seriously. This morning, Huntingburg Police Chief Art Parks recommended the hike in fee to the Huntingburg Board of Public Works. It would be the first such increase in nearly 15 to 20 years. Most of the tickets in question deal with overtime parking tickets to parking in yellow zones, as well as handicap parking violations. Handicap parking issues would only pertain to violations committed on city-owned streets and parking lots. Parks proposed to the board that fees for overtime parking be increased from $1 to $5, while improper parking fees be doubled from $5 to $10. Members of the board felt that fines for those who violate handicap parking restrictions should also be doubled from $10 to $20. Parks says he hopes the increase in fees will give residents a little more incentive to be more aware of city parking restrictions and be less prone to violate those laws.
Well, we have in the past seen people that whenever they get just a $5 parking ticket, it doesn't seem like, it seems like they don't care to get the parking ticket because it is just $5, whether it be a yard sale or a big event like a basketball game or something like that, it doesn't seem like it's a major deal. And people that's been around here and know that they're $5, it seems like that they're not worried about it, because if we do come around there and it's just going to be $5. So, and with this, it's not being raised dramatically.
The board approved the proposal, which will now be forwarded to the Huntingburg City Council for changes in the city ordinance. Those changes are expected to take place at next week's council meeting. Yesterday, the City of Jasper's advisory team for the development of the former Jasper Country Club property met for the first time. The 19-member team, formed by Mayor Terry Seitz just over a week ago, heard from David Gamble of Gamble & Associates, as well as Barry Alberts of City Visions. Gamble and Alberts, who are also working on the Jasper Downtown Riverfront Master Plan, set out a rough opening timeline for the project and took input from advisory team members throughout the session. One idea that was mentioned is converting the space into a large community park. Citizen Advisory Team member Audrey Sager, a mother of 4 younger children who moved back to Jasper from Chicago recently, says she would be in favor of such a park. Sager says if a park winds up being what the property is turned into, she would like to see something that is kid-friendly.
The kind of park I would like to see that would be put into this space is something that's safe and appropriate for young children. Whether it's just silly things like having a fence or having a surface that small children don't fall on, or it's stroller friendly and easy for moms to take their kids there.
Sager also believes that other parents would be very receptive to the idea should it come to pass.
I think other parents are looking for the same thing that I'm looking for, and that's a safe, fun place to take their kids, and a place that's also easy to get to and convenient once you do get there.
The Country Club property will be closed for maintenance by the Jasper Parks and Recreation Department once the purchase of the property by the city is completed next Thursday. Though ideas for the property are currently in their preliminary stages, both Gamble and Alberts said at the meeting that public input would eventually be brought in after developers have a chance to be as informed as possible about the space that they are working with. Last night, the Southeast Dubois County School Corporation held their regular monthly meeting to approve claims, consider purchase requests, and consider hirings and resignations. But the nucleus of the meeting was focused on the Affordable Care Act. The school board is preparing a plan to look at their instructional assistants to see whether or not they meet the full-time status rule under the Affordable Care Act. There is disagreement, so the board is putting together a proposed rule. This proposal tells schools what a full-time employee is and what benefits would be offered to them. At last night's meeting, the board reduced the 35-hour instructional assistance time to 28 3/4 hours per week, so they will be under the 30-hour window mandated. Southeast Dubois Superintendent Rick Allen says both local and national school corporations need to speak out against the full-time employee rule at an upcoming public hearing.
Our attorney with Bose McKinney Evans, Jim Hamilton, has recommended that school corporations all across the state and all across the country go to this hearing to testify, to show the IRS how nonsensical the rule is and how we can make that better, because it lacks total common sense of what a full-time employee is.
Allen says that he plans to testify at this hearing. Sentencing has been handed down on a Jasper woman accused of battering her infant child 18 months ago. 25-year-old Lindsay Godey was sentenced Tuesday in Dubois Circuit Court after entering a guilty plea to a Class C felony count of neglect of a dependent resulting in bodily injury due to injuries sustained by her then 6-month-old son in October of 2011. Godey was sentenced to 6 years in the Indiana Department of Correction, with 2.5 years of that term to be served on adult day reporting via house arrest with electronic monitoring, and the remaining time suspended to probation. A Class B felony count of aggravated battery that was originally filed against her was dismissed as part of a plea agreement. Back in October of 2011, police began to investigate Godey when they responded to a 911 call about a sick infant at a daycare provider's Jasper residence. The daycare provider reported that the infant was having medical problems. The infant initially was transported to Memorial Hospital in Jasper. Police said it was discovered at that time that the child, who was transferred to Riley Hospital for Children in Indianapolis for treatment, had been the victim of suspected physical abuse. Police continued investigating with assistance from the Dubois County Department of Child Services. A warrant was issued for Godey's arrest, and she was taken into custody the following month. Jasper Chamber of Commerce Director Nancy Eckerly was recognized at the Indiana Chamber Executives Association's Winter Conference in Indianapolis with a certificate for completing the Hoosier Academy last year. This academy was a series of 4 one-day programs on chamber management essentials geared for today's chamber executives. Eckerly also received a plaque for being named a certified professional in the Chamber of Commerce field. Eckerly says she's thrilled to be honored by her peers.
I was glad that the Indiana Chamber Executive Association has come up with this type of an award because it really is able to take the people that have been involved in chamber work for a long time and kind of move you to a higher level. So it's something to be very proud of, and I definitely am.
To receive this award, decided by a panel of peers, an applicant must have a minimum of 4 years of Chamber of Commerce service, be a member in good standing with the association, and have completed the Hoosier Academy, among other requirements. Coming up after the break, your local forecast, plus sports with Kurt Guxell, and Inform featuring Huntingburg Chamber of Commerce Executive Director Nick Stevens. That's all coming up next here on 18 WJTS News. Local people watching local people.